Clubhouse. Good morning, Facebook. How are you guys this morning? It is time for T minus 10 minutes with Shay, your favorite fractional chief operating officer. And what we do is we have a little business banter on the balcony here in Buenos Aires, where I give you some great information to help you to grow and scale your business. We talk about all things business here. It's for my small business CEOs. Most of it is for the CEOs that I help, which tend to be virtual service-based businesses, right? Virtual service-based businesses. Some things are general and also for product-based business, but I usually work with virtual service-based businesses. Let's see if you can, here we go. All right. So good morning, Patricia. Thank you for joining me and thank you for clicking the link where I can see your name. I appreciate you. Good morning. Good morning. All right, guys, let's get to it, right? Because it's supposed to be 10 minutes. I did good last week. I'm going to try to do good again this week. So this week's blog post is called Start with Your Client Journey. Start with your client journey. Now, let me tell you how I came about this blog post. I was talking to a couple of people last week. I know Heather was one, so if Heather joins us, good morning, Heather. I see Cheryl. Good morning, Cheryl. Start with your client journey. Business operations and managing your business, right? Most of this stuff comes down from corporate America down to us small businesses. And what's happening is the way that corporate America does things, where they have a whole department for each key piece of their business, we don't have all of that, right? And most of us started with our genius to get in business. We didn't start with the real business acumen about how business departments and business areas are supposed to be structured, right? That's our biggest problem with knowing about business operations and knowing about business structure. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to start with your with your client journey, okay? This is what makes it easy for you, all right? It's almost like when you read a legal contract and you know doggone well there are some regular words they could have used so that you could understand, right? Yeah, it exists. The same thing happens with our business operations, right? There's an easy way to do this thing. So it starts with your client journey. I need for you to map out, okay? Map out, how do clients become aware of you? How do they inquire about what you have to offer? Take me all the way through to when you have finished servicing that client and you tell them goodbye or offboarding, right? So from the time they find out about you to the time that you have, you've pitched to them, you've onboarded them, you've serviced them, and you've told them goodbye, you've offboarded them, that's their journey. And I want you to map out step by step what that journey is, okay? I give you an example in this week's blog post. If you go to shaycannon.com/journey, you will find this week's blog post, right? So I give you an example, and it's not even fancy, y'all. I use a phrase and I put an arrow and a phrase and I put an arrow. All you're doing is mapping out the steps. Easy peasy, okay? So you don't have to worry about all this corporate stuff. You know what I'm saying? The big spreadsheets, the multi-page business plans, the organizational charts, and all of that stuff. I want to make it really easy for you, okay? So when you map out that client journey, what you're now going to do is kind of sit back, look at that client journey. And I want you to look at the pieces on the journey and tell me or list out under each piece what is involved in those pieces, right? So if they found you on Facebook, what is involved in them finding you on Facebook? If they inquire and do a discovery call, what's involved in them inquiring and doing a discovery call, okay? So that's information that's going down from each piece, all right? What that's going to do is that's going to become your processes, all right? That's going to become your processes. Easy, right? Didn't think about it like that before? Not hard to think about. Okay, the next thing I want you to do is I want you to look at how each piece connects. How does each piece connect? Okay, how do they go from inquiring to the discovery call to the paying to being onboarded? I want you to look at each piece. In between each piece, I need you to tell me, how do they get from piece to piece? How do they get from piece to piece? Okay, you see how this thing is working? Those are also processes. Those are also processes. Now, what I want to tell you about is there is this amazing genius in the automation world. His name is Chris L. Davis. He used to work for Active Campaign, and now he has his own company called Auto Bridge. Okay. And what Chris L. Davis taught me is that we don't purchase tech, we hire technology. Okay. We hire in small businesses, we hire technology. And let me tell you what my spin on that is. Before we hire people, we hire technology. That's my spin on his genius. Okay. Oftentimes, we in small businesses, we don't have the money to hire every team member, right? And sometimes tech can do it best anyway. So look at your client journey and figure out what tech can be placed to make things faster, better, more efficient. Okay. Faster, better, more efficient. What tech can do that? Okay. Is it an email automation? Okay. Instead of you going back and forth in email trying to see when someone is available compared to when you're available, is that a scheduling link? There's tech for that, right? So I want you to first create your client journey. And then what you're going to do is you're going to look at each piece and you're going to go down from each piece and you're going to list all the things it takes to get that piece done. That's the first part. Okay. The second part is you're going to look at how you get from piece to piece and decide what is that gap. Is that gaps in technology? Where in your entire client journey can you hire technology? Okay. So today, what you have learned is all of your processes for your business can start with your client journey. Okay. It can start with your client journey. I can't wait to see what your aha moments are about this because it is so simple. We don't have to make small business operations hard, right? You don't have to. You can create processes, standard operating procedures, hire tech, and all the things that you need based on how is your client touching you. Because that's where you want to be excellent first, right? You want to be excellent with how your client, what are all the touch points? Okay. What are the processes for each of those touch points? And what technology can you hire for each of those touch points? A lot of people tell you, oh, you should have standard operating procedures in your systems. Oh, in your company. Oh, you should have processes and systems, but they don't tell you where to start. That's why when you sit down to get this stuff organized, because I know you're trying, I know you are, but nobody gives you the easy way to do it. They're giving you all the jargon. Oh, you need this, you need that, but they're not telling you how to do it. Start with your client journey, and it's going to tell you everything you need to know about each offer in your business, because people can come into different offers in different ways, right? So if you have one offer, I need to know the client journey for that. If you have another offer, I need to know the client journey for that. If you have another offer, you might have too many offers. We'll get on that later. But I'm just going to say, for every offer you have in your business, there is a client journey. You need to map that out. Okay. I hope that was easy for you. Because sometimes we make things hard. We're out here doing things manually, thinking we need to hire more people than we have to hire. I'll talk more about that tomorrow. But think about it. You have email automations. You have the scheduling platform. You have carts that automatically upsell or downsell for you. So you have technology that can sell for you. You don't, everything is not a salesperson, right? Everything is not you selling. You have cart technology that can upsell and downsell in a click, right? This is hiring technology. You have some of y'all are invoicing every month. It's the same amount. Why don't you have a recurring payment system set up? That's technology, right? That's technology. Let's think. Oh, a service-based businesses, right? I have a business mentor, Lamar Tyler of TSP, Traffic Sales and Profit, and he says us service-based businesses love a proposal. We love contracts and stuff, right? But it takes us too long to get out those proposals and those contracts. Well, guess what? There's tech for that. You can hire tech for that. There are platforms that can take someone from proposal to payment to contract, and you never touched it again once you sent it. Okay? There's no excuses, people, right? There's no excuses. Reoccurring tasks that happen every time when you start working with a client. That's a project management system with reoccurring tasks. It's not a person, it's tech. You can make it easy on your client, right? So that's technology. So again, Today we're talking about everything starts with your client journey. This is how you easily create your processes, easily create your standard operating procedures, easily figure out what tech you need. And tomorrow we're going to talk about people. What people do you need? We're going to look at the same system. We're using this client journey all week, y'all, because it's that important. It's a way for you to get your business organized, and you don't necessarily need to understand all of these organizational charts, spreadsheets, and all of these things to get your business right. Okay. So I'm here to help you. Y'all know I'm like your business interpreter, right? I take the hard stuff and I make it easy for you. That's what I do. And so thank you for joining me today. We're trying to keep it at 10 minutes. This has been 10 minus 10 minutes with Shay, your favorite fractional COO. This is what I want you to do starting this week. I want you to make sure you read the blog, but I also want you to make sure that you join the group. Okay, I'm going to put the link in for the group, but it's CEO Sense Small Business Operations with Shay Cannon. Find that group and get in the group. Some of you are in the group listening to this broadcast right now. What I have decided, right, because we're evolving this thing, what I have decided is all of these videos will live in that group. But not only that, I got a challenge coming up for you guys. I got a challenge coming up. And so you want to be in the group to get all the extras for this challenge. And so I'll reveal more of that for you by the end of the week. But this is me making business simple for you because I want you to have an excellent business. All right. So join me again in the morning for T minus 10 minutes. But that's it for today. So have a great day, everybody. Put your comments and your questions in the comments and I will answer all of them. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, everybody. See you in the morning. Good morning, Facebook. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you for joining me for TEA minus 10 minutes with Shay, your favorite fractional COO, Chief Operating Officer. And I have my tea. I hope that you guys have yours. We are out here on my balcony for some business banter, okay? If you don't know who I am a fractional chief operating officer, and I help small business CEOs to build their business around the life design that they want, right? Around the freedom that they want. And my freedom looks like living in Buenos Aires, Argentina. And right now, that's where we are on my balcony in Buenos Aires, Argentina. So welcome to my balcony. I hope you have your tea, and we're about to get into it, okay? This week's blog post was about your client journey. It was about everything starting with your client journey, okay? And so what I did was I kind of made, my hand's in the way. I kind of made for you an easy way for you to start building your processes and creating your standard of operating procedures and all of that, right? Because people tell you you need them, but as small business owners with, not a corporate sense of how businesses are run from the top down, right? It sounds good, but then when you go to sit down and create these things, you don't know where to start. You don't know where to start. And that's okay. That's why I'm here. Part of my job is to make all this corporate ease digestible for you so that you can then apply them to your business. So the blog post again is at shaycannon.com/journey. Go check out the blog post. And what it talks about is starting with your client journey. If you are to map out, right, how your clients come into an awareness of you, how they inquire about what you offer, how you onboard them, how you service them, how you offboard them or tell them goodbye, right? If you chart all of that and then start to fill in a lot of detail, right? So you're going across with those things, but how do each of those things look, right? So first I want you to go across. What is the journey, right? Then I want you to pick each part of that journey and I want you to go down and give detail, right? So you can't just say, oh, they are aware of me. And that's how you start it, right? You could just say awareness, but what you have to then do is go back and go down from awareness and say, how are they aware of me, right? Is it because I'm putting out content? Is it because I'm showing up at speaking events? How are they aware of you? You need those things to go under that, right? Then I want you to look at each piece and how does each piece connect, right? And that's what we talked about yesterday. Yesterday, we talked about how each of those pieces connect. Could be you hiring tech, Okay, it could be you applying technology to make those two pieces speak, right? So that each piece is fluent. Good morning, Cheryl. Oh, Cheryl, I see you using the StreamYard link. I see you. I see you. Okay. So each of those pieces are connected. How are they connected? Are they connected by technology, some kind of platform, some kind of automation, right? That's what we talked about on yesterday. Catch that replay if you want to hear more about the tech end. Today, what we're going to talk about is the people end. What people resources do you need, either coming down from each of those pieces to make them happen, or connecting those pieces, okay? Connecting those pieces. Because what happens is a lot of people say, I don't know who to hire, or I don't know who to hire first in my small business. If you complete your client journey, right, you will see a bunch of pieces. And once you say, okay, this can be tech, and this can be tech, and this can be tech, and you turn around and you not turn around, but you step back and you look, what pieces were not tech? Okay, what pieces has to be done manually? Okay, and does that look like one person? Does that look like a few people? It is, are there any specialized people in there? Right, a lot of us as small business owners, we're trying to hire unicorns. Sometimes we find them, sometimes we don't. You need to recognize what are different roles, okay, and what are things you wish one person could do. There's a difference, right? We always wish one person could do a bunch of specialized skills, but that's not always possible, because they are indeed in real life different skill sets, right? So us small business owners are great for wanting unicorns and sometimes even finding them, sometimes even making them. But I need you to know what is an actual distinct different role for these pieces, okay? So that is the first thing, right? What are all the things that tech can do? And then what is left for humans to do? And now, what people do I need? How many people is it? Okay, that's how you look. This is how your client journey is helping you as a business owner to get so many of these pieces you need in place for your growth, right? Because if that piece is needed for your client journey, you can't very well leave that piece out, can you? So starting out, all pieces may be you. But as you start to get overwhelmed, as you start to want to service your clients more excellently, because that's what scale is, right? Serving your clients excellently at volume is what scale is. If you just got a bunch of clients, that's growth. All right. Our goal is to serve them in excellence. That's scale. So who do you hire for your scale? Look at your client journey and decide what all has to be done by a human, because it can't be done by tech. Or maybe you can't afford that tech right now. That's okay. Okay, you just put it to the side and say, this is on my list of things to afford later. Even as a business owner, you're supposed to have, goals of tech that you're going to hire to get to your next level, so that as you're saving money in your business or making more money, you then go and hire that tech, right? But to begin with, maybe you can't afford, the huge tech that costs a whole bunch of money. Okay, so that has to be a person. Now, this is the thing. Okay, once you figure out what pieces have to be done by a person, whether or not there are specialized pieces that have to be different people, what can you do? What can you hire, right? Then you have to decide, who are you going to hire first, right? Who are you going to hire first? I get this question a lot. I have a small business. I'm building my team. Who do I hire first? Now, that depends on your business model. Okay, it depends on your business model. It depends on where have you deployed tech versus it needs a person, right? Some people say, oh, my first hire is an admin. That's not true for everybody. It's not true for everybody. So a good rule of thumb on who you hire first is, okay, this is what I tell everybody. If I haven't diagnosed your business in detail, this is my answer that could apply, okay? And that is, who can you hire to help you to get to the money the fastest? Who can you hire to help you get to the money the fastest, right? Now, excuse me, that looks different for everybody, right? That looks different for everybody, because depending on your strengths and your weaknesses, the strengths and weaknesses of your business, what's going on in your business, that could look different. Okay, that could look different. Let me give you some examples. Maybe your first hire is an admin so that you can go do sales in the business. Okay, you already got somebody to service clients, but you need an admin to do the administrative things so that you are free to go and do sales, right? That would be your first hire to go and get the money fastest. Okay, let's say you're not good at sales, okay, but you're great at marketing, right? You're not the closer, but you're great at marketing. So maybe you go hire a sales team or salesperson, right? So you're somebody is servicing the client, you're doing the marketing, and now you got a sales team or person to do the closing. That might need to be your first hire to get to the money the fastest, okay? Or let's say you're not good at sales, you're not good at marketing, you know anything about that stuff. You built your business around coaching and you want to stay in the coaching. Well, guess what? Now you need to hire somebody in marketing and sales so that you can continue to coach. So do you see all of these examples? Do you see why I say it depends, right? But hiring someone to get you to the money fastest is never a wrong thing, right? It's never a wrong thing. So look at your business. Look at your client journey. Tell me where you're jammed up in that client journey. What jam will get you to the money the fastest? We need to unplug that jam first. Okay. So if that's tech, you hire tech. If it's a person, you hire a person. Because if you can't do it, someone still has to do it. All right. So I hope I've been doing good, sticking to my 10 minutes. And so I hope that helps everybody. Again, this week we're talking about the client journey and how that can help you to decide a lot of things in your business that people tell you you should be doing, but you have no idea where to start. Everything starts with your client journey. Okay. Check out that blog post. It is shaycannon.com/journey. And I'm going to join you again tomorrow. We're going to continue on with this thing, right? I have a whole nother subject matter to talk about that's going to be good, starting with your client journey. So join me again in the morning for T-10 minutes with Shay. And I hope you have a great day. Consider all of these things that I have said. Dino said he loves the fact that I said hire who can get you to the money fastest. Thank you, Dino. I see D Works or D Spencer. I don't know what name you're under on Facebook because it's not showing your name, but I see that. Let's go, y'all. That's D all day. So thank you for joining me, and I'll see you again in the morning for T-10 minutes with Shay, where we're going to do a little business banter on my balcony here in Buenos Aires. All right. Have a great day. Good morning, Facebook. Good morning. Welcome to TEA -10 minutes with Shay, your favorite fractional COO, that's Chief Operating Officer. And guess what? If you don't know who I am, what I do is I serve small business CEOs in making sense of and creating and funding their business freedom. Okay, I need you to have freedom. Freedom is the name of the game. My freedom looks like living and working my business from all over the world. I am currently in Buenos Aires, Argentina. So we're doing a little every morning, Monday through Thursday morning at 7 a.m. Eastern time. I'm doing a little business banter from the balcony here in Buenos Aires just for you. And I'm going over things, business growth, business scale, business management, business operations related, okay? We usually start the week with a blog post. I'll put that link down in the comments later on, but you could go to shaycannon.com/journey, because what we're talking about is easy ways to create the things in your business that you need, right? Because what I know is everybody tells you, oh, you need standard operating procedures, you need to have processes, you need to have all of these things, you need to have a team, right? All of these things that you need to scale, and it's true, but nobody tells you how to get started, right? Nobody tells you how to get started. A couple of you have probably even Googled some templates and looked at them like, what the heck is this? Well, that's my job, right? My job is to make the complex easy. And so I have an easy way for you to get all of this done. And that is to document your client journey, right? Your client's journey, right? How do they come into awareness of you? How do they inquire about what you offer? How do you get them the proposal or the link to pay? How do you service them? And how do you offboard them from your service? All of that from beginning to end is the client journey. Right? So Monday, we talked about how we look at that client journey to decide what tech to hire. What technology do we need, right? Because we usually hire tech before we hire people, all right? Then Tuesday, yesterday, We talked about the people. How do you know who to hire? I get that question a lot. I tell you, it's one of my main questions. I know I need a team. Who's the first person I need to hire? Well, I answered that question on yesterday, so check out the replay. Check out the replay of yesterday, okay? Today, what we're going to talk about is the processes. The processes, okay? The processes, right? Those standard operating procedures and what happens when, right? How do you document those? Again, you use your client journey, okay? You use your client journey. So what that does is when you go from how they're aware of you all the way to how you offboard them as a client or renew them as a client, whatever your ending is, right? When you go through all of those steps, what it lets you know is each piece connects to each other, okay? Each piece connects to each other. Now, we've been talking the past 2 days about what tech and what person you need to connect each piece, okay? Now we're going to talk about what processes you need, okay? What processes do you need? Each piece probably has a process. So if people enter your awareness by you doing a live on Facebook, what is the process of you going live on Facebook? What is the step by step, right? So if you're here on Facebook and this is a part of my awareness for you, then I have a few things I do in the process of actually appearing on Facebook. So now I would have a process for awareness of going live on Facebook, okay? What is my step by step? Okay, how do I think of topics? You know, did I schedule it? You know, what about this frame and graphics and things that are involved in this broadcast? What are all the things involved step by step before I go live to give you value? What are the things after I go live that get you to a discovery call, right? What are all of those things? What is the call to act? All of that is a process, right? All of that is a process, step by step. So you're going to take your client journey, and each piece of that journey, you're going to take that piece and you're going to say, what is the step by step to make this piece happen? That is your process, all right? It's funny because that journey is an overview, but that journey is so important. And when you go down into the minutia and the details of your client journey, that's where the goal is. That, and when I say goal, I mean G-O-L-D. Y'all know I'm from Alabama and you get in all of this country, but gold, G-O-L-D, that's where the goal is, right? It's also where the goal is, actually G-O-A-L, right? Because our goal, G-O-A-L, is to have more and more clients. So if we can perfect the client journey, right? If we can bring more people into awareness, if we can have more people to inquire about our offer, right? If we can have more people to pay for our offers, if we can service more clients excellently so that they refer and that they come back, all of that is the goal, G-O-A-L. So this client journey is way more important than most people think. I don't understand why a lot of people aren't thinking about this, but this is why I'm dedicating a week to it, okay? Because the client journey is that important, especially for us small businesses. We don't have all of these multiple departments, right? For some of you, it's just you. For some of you, it's you and a VA. For some of you, it's you, a VA, and a project manager, right? So it just depends, but the client journey should be steering and guiding you into having a better business, into having the processes, the team, and the technology that you need, okay? So again, when you map out your client journey, each piece connects to the other piece, but each piece has its own step-by-step. So the subtask for each piece, that step-by-step, you need to have a process for, okay? Now, how each piece connects to the other is another process. Now, we know what connects it. Is it tech or is it a person? But how are the pieces connected, okay? You need that step-by-step. So that's what makes it important. I want you to think, when you think of the steps, think of the how, okay? But also add in there the when, because timing is important. When do these things happen, okay? When does it happen? In the process, you might even have the who and the what. If you have more than one person on your team, okay, then we need to know what person does what in that process, all right? What about the what if, right? In your processes, it might be different avenues that can happen to get to the next piece. You need to process all of the what ifs. that you know about, okay? All of that what if, and as things come up, need to be documented as a part of the process. I hope this is making it easy for you, right? Because if anybody in business, whether you have a million employees and all these departments, or you have just you, anybody can document their client journey. Look at that journey, the pieces and how those pieces are connected. Figure out what tech you need to get from one piece to another. What tech do you need for the step-by-step of each piece? What person do you need, and what process? What steps, right? What steps do you need? And that's your processes. You don't have to have these fancy forms of SOPs, standard operating procedures, that you don't understand. Again, I know you've probably Googled SOPs and standard operating procedures, and the forms that came up, you probably stared at that thing for about 10 minutes, right? Because it didn't resonate with you what you were supposed to do with it. For some of you, you didn't know the difference between a process and a procedure. So you're looking at it like, oh, okay, I did the process of what happens, but where do I document how you do it? Because you need both, right? Make your own form. I don't care what that thing looks like. There's nobody coming to audit what your SOP looks like. I don't care what form you need. I just need you to document the steps, okay? Document the steps. That's what you need. That's what's most important. You know, we'll have people out here telling you that if you don't have proper SOPs, then you don't have a business and you're not ready for scale. That's not true. If you've documented it where the next person can read it and do it, then you have a SOP, okay? Some SOPs aren't even written. Some of them are recorded on video. Some people have video libraries of their SOPs. Now, I'll tell you, if you have a video library, you still need some kind of downloadable that somebody can reference quickly without having to watch the video over, right? But how you can start is you, as the busy entrepreneur, can record the steps, and you can have your team members to document them in a written form, okay? You can do all of these things. What I want to tell you is it is easy to get your business ready for scale. What's not easy is trying to run your business and grow, and you haven't taken the time to get your business structured for scale, okay? But to get it structured for scale, it doesn't take all of that. It really does. Start with your client journey. Figure out what tech you need to hire. Figure out, that was Monday. Figure out what people you need to hire. That was yesterday, Tuesday. And today, document those step-by-steps, okay? Document the how. That's what you need. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about a whole nother piece of how to use the documenting of your client journey to organize your business for scale. After this week, you should have no excuse not to be a little more ready to serve excellently in growth, which is what scale is, okay? So thank you for joining me. It's been about 10 minutes. Oh, I've done well this week. So thank you for joining me. Any questions you have, feel free to put them in the comments. I'm going to put that blog post in there later. I'll answer your questions, any that you have about the client journey and how that helps your business get more organized. Because when I tell you it's the easiest thing in the world to get your business ready for scale, I mean it. All right, I'll see you again in the morning at 7 a.m. Eastern time for TEA minus 10 minutes with Shay, your favorite fractional chief operating officer. See you in the morning. Welcome to T minus 10 minutes. That's TEA because I have my T and I hope you have yours. Minus 10 minutes because it's going to take me about 10 minutes to give you this business banter on the balcony here in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Okay? So I meet you here every Monday through Thursday at 7 a.m. Eastern time. And we get started on a topic that is going to help you to make sense of your small business so that you can create freedom and the funds to keep your freedom, right? So that's what we're here for. I've been covering an array of topics for about 3 weeks now. It's been fun. People have been getting value. So check out the replays, check out the comments. Good morning, Cheryl. Good morning. Thank you so much. So guess what? All week, because it always starts with a blog, right? It always starts with a blog. So all week, what we have been talking about is that everything that people tell you you need in your business operations or in your business management, you know, all of that corporate stuff, you know what I'm saying? You need processes, you need tech, you need to build a team, all of that stuff. Well, all of that starts with your client journey. Okay, so since Monday of this week, what we've had you talking about is the fact that you should be using your client journey, map that out first, and that's going to reveal to you all the other things that you need as a start, right? So I know that you've been hearing that you don't have a real business unless you have standard operating procedures and processes and all that kind of stuff. And you're like, okay, cool, but how do I do that? Well, that's why I come in, right? Because that's the value that I give to you each and every day is I'm trying to break all of this stuff down so that you, the small business owner and entrepreneur, can apply it to your business, right? I'm not talking over your head. I'm not talking um, I'm not talking to where you don't understand. I'm not trying to use big words to prove to you that I'm smart because I'm a genius. I don't need big words to tell you that. So, what I'm doing is breaking it down so that you can apply it. Okay. And this week we're using the client journey, right? What is a client journey? Well, I want you to map out when someone as a client comes into your sphere of existence, right? How do they become aware of you first, right? How do they inquire about your offer second, right? And what are all the steps you take to move them from knowing about your offer to accepting your offer, okay? How do you onboard them? That's a clue to what we're going to talk about today. How do you service them? And then how do you offboard them? All of that is your client journey. Good morning, Patricia. Good morning. Good morning. I'm loving that you guys are letting StreamYard show me your name. I love it. So all of that is your client journey. Now, Monday, what we talked about was that you're going to put those steps from awareness to offboarding, right? And you just put a step and an arrow, a step and an arrow, a step and an arrow, okay? Now, the first thing we're going to do is look at each step. And down from each step, we're going to list what does it take to achieve that step, okay? So we're going down from the step. What does it take to achieve that step, okay? You do that for each step. Then you're going to go back and you say, what does it take to connect each step, one step to another step, okay? How do I go from awareness to inquiry? How do I go from inquiry to offer? How do I go from offer to payment, okay? We want to know how do we connect all of those, all right? So we talked about technology, using technology in your steps and in your connecting, all right? We talked about that Monday. Go catch that replay. Tuesday, we talked about who, right? Who do we need to hire to do those steps? Because after technology takes over stuff, there's stuff that humans do. What are those things? Who is that? How many who's is that, right? We talked about that on Tuesday. Catch that replay. Yesterday, we talked about processes, okay? Processes is the actual how are you going to achieve these things? What is the how to for each of those things, okay? That's the actual process, the procedure. We even talked about the when, the timing of your how to. That's the protocols. Do you know when to do what, okay? Today, what we're going to talk about, okay? And this is where when you get everything set up, this can be the fun part, but this is definitely the part that your client will remember in their journey. We're going to talk about client experience, okay? Because the client's journey needs to be an experience for the client, right? You're taking care of everything internally with all the other stuff, right? But you need to also look at what is the client experience? Are you adding too much friction for the client for these steps? Okay, let me give you an example. And I hope that I don't hurt too many feelings. Y'all know I love you. I tell you things out of love, right? So some of you for your service require a huge questionnaire, right? You require this long questionnaire full of questions, 20 more questions, right? Because you need that information to get started. So you're not, being mean. You just need the information to get started with your service or your product, right? Okay, well, guess what? Asking a client to fill out 20, 30 questions is too much friction. Okay. And I bet what's happening is most of them don't do it. You go to your first meeting and you want them to have that stuff before the first meeting, and they never do, or very few do. You want to know why? Because you're putting too much friction in the client experience. What you need to do when you have long questionnaires and you have a lot of questions, you need to add in time into the front part of your onboarding meeting to interview them to get those answers, okay? Interview them to get those answers because most of them are not going to answer it on their own. You still need it before you proceed. Make it a part of what you're doing before you first meet them anyway. Just the top half of the meeting, dedicate a little more time to go through and interview them so that you can then proceed with the rest of what the meeting is really for. Okay, that's one way to do it, especially if you don't have a team. Another way to do it, if you have a team, is you front load an extra meeting in front of the meeting with the expert, where a team member does the interviewing. Okay, you just let them know, hey, we have instead of, or you can give them a choice, right? Because clients love choices. It feels very concierge when you give us choices. So you can say, hey, we need this information before your meeting with our expert. You can either fill out the questions by yourself or schedule a meeting and we can go through the questions with you. Does that not feel white glove and concierge, right? My team member can help you. That's an extra meeting, but you're letting them choose, right? You're letting them choose. And so it feels more concierge and white glove than it does work. So you can give them that kind of choice, right? I want you to think about other things that can be eliminated or shortened for the client, right? A lot of us, it takes you a while to get the proposal out, and then you got to come back and manually send them a contract, and then it takes a few more days of following up with the contract, and then you got to follow back up to get your payment, and then you get them onboarded, right? I don't know how long that could be. What, 2 weeks, a month? Let's take that friction out. There is technology out there to help with the client experience on that. There are platforms in SaaS, which is service as a software, right? Or software as a service, out there that can help you with that and make that seamless. Okay. There's Dubsado, there's PandaDoc. There's a whole bunch of things. I don't have a preference for you. Okay. Go and research it and find the best one. However, what they can do is you can load up the proposal, load up the contract, and load up the payment link all in one thing. And when you send it to the client, it's seamless, right? As soon as they agree to the proposal, the contract pops up. And they're like, oh, they look through the contract, they sign it. As soon as they sign the contract, the payment link pops up. Oh, you know what I'm saying? That's a client experience. They're not waiting 2 weeks to a month because you have this manual process with all this friction in it, okay? It's about the client experience, all right? Now, let's see. Do I have another example in me? I don't know. Y'all put all kind of friction. So I want you to look at your client journey and I want you to say, what can I combine to make it a better frictionless experience for the client? But the next thing I want you to do is look at your client journey and ask yourself, where can you put an experience in there? Like an over and above experience, right? If you have a high ticket something, should you have some type of welcome gift in there? Okay. Or if you have a high ticket something, should you have some type of gift to help with the service, right? Help with the service. For example, I have an interior design client, and a part of her service is because she has clients in different places, they have to give her measurements. Easily send them a little onboarding gift that includes a tape measure and other little things that they need and a thank you gift, right? Easily. And what about an offboarding gift, right? See, a lot of you, and this may hurt your feelings again, don't forget that I love you. I swear I love you. I'm only telling it to you out of love. But a lot of you want high-end clients, but you're not ready for high-end demands. I'm going to take, Zinger, I'm going to take a look. See? You want high-end clients, but you're not ready for high-end demands. Let me tell you what comes with high-end money. High expectations. Okay? You have to work on this client stuff. Some people have money because they don't have time. They are here making this money. So all these extra steps, they're not going to do it. That just makes you seem unprofessional. Okay? Makes people not want to work with you. High end, high demand, high expectation. Guess what else people who pay big money expect? They expect a concierge white glove experience, like I explained to you. If you tell them, hey, I have this questionnaire, but I will have a team member go over it with you. I will have a team member go over it with you. That seems white glove and concierge. They gladly sign up for this extra meeting. But if you get the high ticket person that don't have time for all that, they will gladly wait till that afternoon right before they leave the office and fill out their questionnaire. But give them a choice. Okay, give them a choice. How can you make things easier for them to have your service, experience your service? What can you add to make the experience memorable above and beyond? All of this is client experience, and all of this begins with your client journey. Okay? Today is the last broadcast of this week. It all started with the client journey. Check out that blog post. It's at shaycannon.com/journey. I'll put the link to the blog in the comments later. But I hope you got good value from that. I hope you got good value all this week, because as a small business CEO, as an entrepreneur, everything you need to know to get started with being excellent lies in your client journey. So I want you guys to go back, take your time and map out your client journey. I want you to map it out, come away from it, come back to it. I want you to be thinking about it. Where can you take away steps that don't need to be there? Where can you add steps that add a client experience? Okay. How can you map out to make sure that things are repeatable? Where can you apply tech, either to hire it so that a person doesn't have to do it and the process goes smoother, or to add to the client experience? Okay. And who do you need to hire by what's left that has to manually be done? Is that one person? Is it three people? Is it a specialized person? Who is it? This is how you decide. All right. The client journey, guys, is very important. So I need you to take your time and map yours out. So I will see you next week, where we have a whole different thing that we're going to talk about that gives you business value. Okay. But tomorrow will be the replays. So tomorrow, we would do all of our broadcasts this week, Monday through Thursday, end to end as a replay. Ends up being about an hour. So I'm not going to do that to you at the 7 a.m. slot. We do that as tea for lunch. So at 11 a.m., the replay will go live and you guys can check everything out end to end. And this week, it really is a great one to check out end to end, because we're talking about that client journey each day and how to apply the client journey. So I really do recommend that you go ahead and listen to the replay back to back to back to back, so that you are in the client journey mood and you are really getting all the nuggets from a different perspective. So even if you joined me all week, my recommendation is that you watch the replay back to back. All right, guys, I'm almost at the 8:15 mark, and I've been doing good with the 8:10. So I'm gonna leave you guys, but I'll be back on Monday to give you more new value on a new thing to help you to grow and scale your business. But tomorrow, catch the replay and have tea for lunch. All right, guys, have a great day. Thank you, y'all.